Hello, this is Jeremy Waterbury, admissions counselor for the Southeast Health College of Nursing and Health Sciences, and I am again here with Dr. David Heflin, our program director for Diagnostic Medical Sonography. We wanted to talk about the admission criteria for this program because it's different than all the other programs here at the college, and so we thought it would be helpful to hear from the program director how the selection process is going to be for our applicants. So, Dr. Heflin,
yes,
we mentioned that it is going to be a selective admission criteria. Can you kind of walk us through what that means?
Well, first off, understand we only have so many spots available. That's really dictated by our clinical sites. So you can only have really one student per one machine, per one sonographer. So that limits the number that we can have. We'd love to have more, but the reality is we can't have too many. So probably the first thing people need to understand that there's a set of courses that we would require the students to complete before the program begins. Those courses are listed on our website, obviously, and on the fact sheet. And really, we're looking very closely at our AMP1, Anatomy and Physiology course. We're looking very closely at a physics course that's required, and we're looking very closely at a math course. And that needs to be college algebra or stats or higher. If they have an A, they'll get 5 points. If they have a B, they would get 3, and a C would be 1 point. So that's kind of that first criteria. So these prerequisite, these general education courses that are required for our degree for the sonography program, taking those before and then looking at those grades. So I always am encouraging people, Jeremy, make sure you're getting an A. There's nothing wrong with a B, but again, the more people who are applying for our program, it will start to kind of balance itself out as to people who have A's are going to have more points than somebody who might have a B.
What about if they take those classes with us versus if they transfer somewhere else?
Excellent. So if they take it here at the college, we will give them an extra point. So in other words, if they take the math course with us and they made an A, instead of 5 points, they get 6. If they took the physics course with us and instead they got a B, instead of 3 points, they would get 4. Of course, we accept transfer courses from accredited institutions. We're not asking them not to do that. We would want them to do that, particularly if they had an A. But we will certainly reward those who take the course here at our college with an additional point.
I know one of the things that we've mentioned on the website as well is there are extra points applicants can get if they've already completed some other programs. So maybe what are some of those programs and what kind of points can be awarded there?
This goes back to the idea that if I've completed a healthcare program, whether it's a 2 or 4 year, so if I've gone to radiography school and I'm a radiographer and I completed a 2-year program here or a 4-year program somewhere else, you would be rewarded points for that. Nursing is another one. If you've completed a 2-year or 4-year nursing program, we obviously would obviously award points for that as well too. We're also looking at any of the other 2- and 4-year healthcare programs. So a physical therapy assistant, occupational therapy assistant, really any of those programs, we're going to award points for them for accomplishing something, for being a healthcare provider in a different field. So we feel like that's very important to make sure that we're giving those folks recognition and kind of rewarding them for completing that. Now, if you haven't completed a 2 or 4-year program, if you're a CNA, Certified Nursing Assistant, if you've gotten some type of certification, so something less than a 2-year, we would also give points for that as well too, just not as many as if you've completed a 2 or 4-year degree.
So in addition to the points that people can get for the classes that they've taken or even previous degrees, another piece of the admission criteria is the TEAS test.
We have a minimum score requirement for the program, and all of our programs here have that. So ours is 58.7, I believe, is that minimum score. So they must score at least that in order to be considered for our program. If we have more applicants than we have room for, we will actually use the T score as the tiebreaker. So consider if I'm going to take 12 students this year. If the 10th, 11th, and 12th student all have the same points, they all have the T score, I'm going to use the T score as the tiebreaker. So whoever has the highest T score would be 10th, whoever has the next highest would be 11th and 12th based on whoever was in that pool.
So this program, unlike all of our others, has basically like a set deadline to receive applications, because we're going to then pool all those applicants and rank them, correct?
That's correct. So we have a deadline as to when we can accept applications, just like you said, Jeremy. And then we have what's called an admissions committee. So basically we review those applications and we rank them. That way there's not just one person who's responsible for that. So we'll look at the transcripts, we'll look at the grades like we talked about. If they have a 2 or 4 year degree, we're going to have to see that they're actually certified. Like if they're a nurse, they're going to have a certification and pass their board exam. The radiographer, we're going to have to see that they pass their board exam. So we've got to use all of that. We have a nice committee that looks that over. Then we rank them. So I'd encourage anyone who's applying for the sonography program, really reach out to you or to me. Go to our website, make sure they look and see when that cutoff is for application, because we'll have to stay pretty firm on that.
So a question that may come up, someone who's interested, they want to apply, but maybe they don't have a physics class yet.
Right.
Does that mean that they're not going to be reviewed when the time application closes?
Yeah, we will still accept their application. We'll still review it. They just aren't going to obviously have the points for that physics course. So in other words, if they took the course in the summer, let's say they want to get in the program, they take the course in the summer, well, our deadline though is the end of April. So we wouldn't have a grade for that course, so we couldn't look at it and use it as part of our point system for it. But we'd still want them to go ahead and take that. We still want them to apply because maybe they have enough points otherwise to get into the program. The key, I think, as we move forward, Jeremy, is for them to understand getting those courses, particularly the ones that we use for points, completed before the deadline allows us to look at them, their grade, in order to be able to assign them the points. So we're going to encourage them. I know you do. I know I do. We're going to encourage them to try to get it done in the summer and in the fall with anticipation then of applying in the spring.
Well, thanks. Hopefully this is informational for you. Again, if you want to apply, just right there on the website, schcollege.edu, you can click on the admissions tab and the Apply Now button.